Hey, what's up, guys? This is Comic Ken back with another stream, and we are gonna go ahead and show the finished drawing that I've been working on for the last couple months, and show you the final result. There's even a little bit of a dialogue snippet that I added, that people on the email list they were able to see it, but I'll show it to you now since you're here at the actual live stream. So, thanks for dropping in, and we'll just go ahead and get started. Let me say what's up to Massive Panda. Appreciate you coming on to the show, dude. I think this was before the show started, but yeah. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll just jump right in. All right, here we go. Nice. Okay, so this is the final finished illustration. And man, I'm feeling proud of it. Like for me, this is probably, I wouldn't say this is the best thing I've ever drawn or whatever, but I would say like I didn't think I could reach this level of quality by the end of the drawing. I just thought it would be kind of okay by the end of it, but it turned out to be better than I expected, and it has this level of immersion in the scene that kind of brings it all together. Like I was able to find a, what do you call it, a texture to place over the scene. Like these water droplets, that's what I wanted to add at the end of the drawing to really kind of bring it all together and give like some type of foreground element to give some depth and space to the characters, to the art. And using this like texture, like this water droplet texture, it automatically brings you into the scene as if you're in the water, and your lens, if you have a camera or your just eyes or whatever, has water drops on it, and you're just there. Like even the water itself shows like where your eye line might be. Like you're lower on the horizon, and then you see this monster, but you're also here, and you're just I can't decide which to focus on. There's danger, but then there's some not so dangerous stuff as well. So yeah, I think I did pretty good. I don't want to toot my own horn or whatever, but yeah. Let me say what's up. Master Panda says, yeah, man, this is looking super awesome. Hey, appreciate it, dude. Nick Stream says, sup, Ken? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. And now I'm just like, well, we just gotta have to start from zero again. Cause like I'm just gonna do another illustration. That's the thing about doing all this stuff, is like, okay, well, I did such a good job on this one, I don't want to leave it, but I mean, at some point you just call done, and then you're just like, all right, well, let's move on to the next. Let's start the next thing. Even though this was like a journey to create, it was fun. It was fun to draw, and really, like if you see like the little monster back there, really the whole reason why I make comics in general is because I can't just make one image of something. Like it's actually really hard for me to conceive of just making one image, and it's also really hard for me to even do like fan art unless there's some type of story associated with it, you know what I mean? Like I always, the reason I make comics is because I always need another image. Like I need to add something else to the story to continue it. So it's hard for me to do like single images like this, unless they're my own characters, of course, where I know what is going on. So let me add in the speech balloons. Let me know if you guys can see that. So basically Chelsea is saying like, see, wasn't that like super fun, Vivi? And then Vivi's like, well, I guess it wasn't so bad, because this is actually a continuation of a previous piece. me go to that. Where are we? Yeah, this is actually a continuation of this piece here. And it's pulling up. But yeah, Scabies says glorious. Appreciate it, man. And Yaven, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Says so far, I love seeing this piece come together. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it took a while, but I'm glad for the result, how it turned out. So it's actually a continuation from this piece right here. They're like in the back rooms and they came across the pool rooms just on a random whim. So Vivi's like, who the hell keeps a water park in their basement? And then Chelsea's like, I kind of want to. And then Vivi's like, no. And so when they actually do get into like the pool rooms, they're basically over here next to this green water slide. And so if we go back to the actual piece, this is where they come out into the water after sliding down the slide. And so it's kind of a continuation piece of what there was before. And I don't know why I wanted to continue it from there, but I just thought it would be a fun like little thing to add on top. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And I think I already have an idea of where I want this image to go from here, but I don't think it's going to be as involved as this one was to draw. I think it's going to be more sketch-like or a lot easier to draw and render, so it won't be like a super long process to do, because I am in the process of writing chapter 4 of Saintly. So that is going to be what's taking up like the majority of time for the next few days. And then I have an editor meeting on the 27th, and then we'll figure out where the story goes from there. And then I'll just start production on chapter 4 next month. And then or either that, or we had an idea because the comic is launching in October. So we had an idea to do like illustrations and that kind of stuff for the launch, like illustrations, comic strips, like illustrate like drawings like this, or drawings where they're like wearing different outfits, that kind of stuff, to kind of stoke interest in the characters, in the story, in the world before it officially launches in October. So we're thinking of doing that as well, but we're still in the planning phase of what we're going to do there. So yeah, this is the image, the final image, and basically we'll just be sketching and talking about the new one that we're going to come up with. So here we go. All right, and then, this is how it always starts again. Like, you just have a blank sheet of paper and it's back to the beginning and you just have to come up with some stuff. Luckily, if you have like a story or an idea or something in mind, you can just come up with you have a basis to start from, and you're not just going in blind. You're not just going in with zero, because a blank sheet of paper is scary to look at sometimes for some people. But for me, I'm just like, oh, there's infinite possibilities here. I could do anything. I could draw a squiggle like that, and that could be art, at least modern art, and just I print that out, get $1 million. That's just how it goes, man. But let me check out the comments and then go from there. Scaby says, so is this a splash page for your comic, no pun intended, or is this just an illustration? Yeah, it's just an illustration. It's just like a I guess you could call it a print. It's not really tied to any of the events that happen in the comic. It's more or less like I wouldn't call it an Elseworld story, but just a possibility of something that could happen in their world. So yeah, they're in the back rooms, or at least the pool room section of the back rooms, and it's just kind of a fun little side piece to have on top of the main story that's going on, because what's going on in the main story is like crazy, like all kinds of stuff in chapter 3 happens that I can't say anything about. Like once the comic launches, you'll be able to like read it for real, like in color, and see the full story as it goes along, as it like updates and uploads. But for now I can't really say much about it, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how like making webcomics works, is like you're posting the story little by little over time. And basically people who enjoy the comic, they 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 read what's there, then they'll check back maybe in a little while, like uh either every day that you post, or they'll let it build up and buffer up so that when they come back they'll have a lot of pages to read and they can catch up and be like, whoa, this is exciting, and then give it another chance, or give it another period of time before they come back to the comic. Because that's how I read comics, especially like manga online, or web comics that I was into in the past. Like I'll be checking back on web comics that I dropped years and years ago, because they went on like an indefinite hiatus, and I'll still check back every once in a while just to see like maybe there's a chance that they came back. Maybe there's just a slim possibility that they came back and started drawing the comic again. Because even I have a dropped comic, and that's my original comic called Air Rider. It's not I have a whole chapter 3 drawn and almost colored and finished, and it's just not out there in any capacity because I started working on Saintly. And so Saintly, as I draw and create more pieces for it, it's becoming more and more of a thing. It's coming more and more to life, and Air Rider is just kind of on the sidelines until I can one day get back to it and really do it justice. So that's kind of how it is. Like when you're reading webcomics, you let it sit for a while, and the person will keep updating and uploading, and then you come back and then you read a whole bunch of pages and enjoy, and then you leave and then come back, and it's kind of a cycle like that. And once you catch up to everybody else and discuss in the comments and all that kind of stuff. The slowest that I've ever seen somebody's comic come out, or like the lowest rate of pages, let me say the highest rate of pages is 5 days per week. Like I've seen that from a creator called Mina Sundberg. That would be really cool to hit that one day, but I think that would also be super stressful. She did like 900 plus pages of a webcomic called Stand Still, Stay Silent, and she posted 5 days per week, I think, at some point during the upload schedule. Then she went down to like 4 days per week, but she was using that extra day to develop a video game for her own webcomic. And I was just like, this girl's insane. I want to be able to match that work ethic one day. So the slowest I've seen in webcomics is this creator Senna Diaz, who makes this webcomic called Dresden Kodak, and that upload schedule, or that update schedule, was every 2 weeks. And what they would do is like draw a really detailed and paint and draw a really detailed comic page, and it'd be really big. And they would just update that every couple of weeks, and that would be their schedule, and they're still holding to it to this day. So it's like, well, whatever works for you is what you should do as like posting webcomics and stuff. Nick Stream says, another banger to add to the pile. Yeah, that's the thing I like about drawing, is like, if you draw something really good, if you draw enough pictures, like if you draw enough, you start to forget about the pictures that you've drawn in the past, and you can just go back to them and be like, wow, I really cooked. Or you could just like you start to enjoy the past art that you've done the more you make. So let me see. Massive Panda says, "Man, sometimes that blank page can be intimidating. Not gonna lie. Oh yeah." Um, Alpha Proto says, "The ladies look great, but that background is insane." Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I was really taking inspiration from the pool rooms and all that kind of stuff. I actually have, what do they call it? A VizRef file. Whoops. A VizRef file. So this is what I was looking at throughout most of the process to give me ideas or help me like put together the scene that I use in this illustration. So I was using like ideas from the pool rooms, stuff like this, trying to figure out like what color should it be, like how should they be, you know, in there. And I wanted to give it summer vibes without it necessarily being outside. And I think I hit that pretty well. Let's see. Scaby says, other than editing, do you have any other assistance with this, or all you either way? Pretty damn good work. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, the only assistance I get with making Saintly is editing. So my editor or like my publisher, they'll read it. Oh, you know what? Oh, thank God. I was trying to make sure like it was picking up my microphone, but apparently it's been doing that the whole time, which is good. Yeah, my editor will read it and then she'll give me feedback notes like, hey, add this here, don't do this with this character, move that there, that kind of stuff. Like things that I don't see just from making it, they'll give me help on. Like they'll just tell me like, oh, change this, do that, this part's a little slow, improve the tempo on that, and I'll be like, okay, bet. And that's when that's what allows me to produce it at a higher quality than I can do on my own. But otherwise I just draw, write, like color, do everything on the comic, like ink, all of it. I do all of it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Master Panda says, same, I read very infrequently. It's hard to stay consistent on a comic run or webcomic when you're working on your own thing and it's taking up all your time. Yeah, that's how I feel about like manga artists, where they probably want to read a lot of manga or want to read their friends' manga, but they don't have time to really do that at all. Let me see. Master Panda says 5 pages a week. Yeah, I'm losing my hair at that point. Yeah, that's crazy. Because that's basically 20 pages per month, which is the pace I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to get up to 20 pages per month and on a consistent basis so I can keep up with making the comic at a good pace. Let's see. Alpha Proto, I hear about how many pages Jack Kirby would get done, but knowing he had an inker puts his speed into perspective. Yeah, all of that stuff, like they all have like help that you don't necessarily see or hear about behind the scenes. Speed is why I never did web comics. I was fascinated by it at one point, but even doing comic strips seemed intimidating with the deadline looming overhead. Oh yeah, the deadline is what makes the comic get done. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't have a deadline, you'd spend a year just making a comic. And that's what I did with Air Rider a lot of the time. Like especially like issue 1 of Air Rider, or yeah, the first comic, that was 26 pages, and I took my time on it to make it as good as I could at the time, and I didn't have a deadline, like any deadline pressure or anything like that, because I was just like, yeah, I can just make this at my own pace. It's the first comic, so nobody's waiting on anything, so you can just do it at your own leisure and just chill. But then once that first comic comes out and people are expecting more, um you start to run into issues if you can't actually keep up with the deadlines, especially like how I was going to work and school and all that while I was making Air Rider. It was just like, dang, I didn't really understand the pressure of deadlines back then, because I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just do what I did before when I made chapter 1, and really it's all about quality, so I'm just going to make top tier quality stuff and people can wait for quality. But it's been slowly beaten into me over time that comics, like, people don't necessarily care about the level of quality as much as we think that they do. It's like, it's not the most important thing when you're drawing. It's almost secondary, the quality. And I'm very much an auteur type of like artist. Like, I really care about how things are drawn, how they come across, the colors that are used, the expressions that are used. um they all have to be just right for me to really make a good comic for myself. um but not every reader is going to see all the effort that I'm putting in, so I have to pick and choose where I want to make those calls, like where I want to really go ham on the art and where I just want to hang back and chill a little bit. So yeah, that's something I'm learning over time, just sort of figuring it out. Let me see. What's up, El May? How you doing? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Let's see, Master Panda. I agree with Alpha, man. I have insane respect for webcomic creators. There's almost unreasonable expectation for creators to get those pages uploaded, and if they're quality, that's so difficult. Yeah, some people really paint their stuff and go hard on it. Nick Stream says, what's the power scale on monsters in Saintly? Are they Avengers level threat, Squirrel Girl level threat, or Jeff the Land Shark level threat? Yes. And I hope that answers your question. I wouldn't say that they ever get to a world-ending level threat. There's nothing in the world of Saintly that will end the world on its own. Because all the demons in Saintly work on like natural, what's the word? They have like a sort of natural causes level of strength, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain the power system, besides the fact that just a normal way of explaining it is like, the demons in Saintly are based on like natural forces, and they are demonic forces as naturally as a lion has to be a predator. You know what I mean? Like, the demonic forces are just like that because that's their nature to be like that. They're not doing it on purpose. They're just like that. And so the other type of force, like the I guess positive force, the other side of it, when you exercise a demon and like basically dispel the negative energy of them, they just go back into the cycle of things, and they become their force, whatever force. Like, the demons in Saintly are a concentration of evil, like a concentration of dark or like negative forces into a like non physical shape. And then once they attach themselves to a physical object or an animal or a human being, then they can access more power and start to act more on the physical world. Like they can start to have abilities that act on the physical world. Um, and especially powerful demons are able to have what's called it's called a domain in my head right now. And I think that word will stick, but it's not a domain in the JJK sense. It's more like a domain in that any space a really powerful demon inhabits starts to take up the qualities of that demon. So let's say you have like a plant-based demon or a thorn-based demon. If they are in a cave and their cave is the domain, it'll start taking up spiky qualities of that type of demon. Like it'll start taking up plant-like qualities of that demon. So if you're gonna go fight a demon in their domain, like it's gonna be a hard battle because they're in their place. But if you are able to lure them out somewhere else, like it's gonna be much weaker because it doesn't have a place to rely on. And so basically where Vivi and Chelsea are at right now is the domain of some demon. It's not even this demon. This demon is actually too weak to create a space like this. It just lives there. So yeah, they're in the space where a demon lives because they tend to warp the space around them and make the world into the shape that is comfortable for the demon. And yeah, that's about the best way I can explain it. That's sort of how they work. And demon forces and or negative forces and then positive forces are both a part of the same cycle, and both of them are like required to keep the world is basically spinning. And so when a demon becomes a demon, it's because too much negative energy has accumulated in one place and it needs to be dispelled by some type of exorcist or some type of spiritual force, something that can dispel it and then bring natural order back to things. So that's how the demons work. Like they are an accumulation of negativity, and a demon can get to the point where like if they can accumulate to the point where they're starting to affect like the weather or natural, like the place, the whole area around where they exist, almost on the level of like Avatar, I would think. Like a fully realized Avatar would be able to like just do a little wind blast and then the whole area and the clouds are blowing away. So demons are able to get that powerful, and so are human beings who have like positive energy. So they have to, they're basically a system of checks and balances, and they take each other out pretty much. So yeah, Alpha Proto says, with webcomics, what is a good buffer of pages to have on hand? Whatever amount that you feel is comfortable to work with. Like I have more buffer than I actually need right now. I have a lot of buffer, but basically it's as much as you think your update schedule is going to be and a little bit more. So if you know you're going to update 2 times a week and you have 50 pages or you have like 100 pages, then you have a buffer of 1 year. You know what I mean? You have a whole buffer of 1 year if you're going to be uploading 2 pages per week. And that'll give you a year to stay ahead of what you have or what you're putting out. And And it really just depends on what you're comfortable with creating before you launch the comic itself. um like you could have 30 pages and be just fine with uploading, because maybe you're uploading 1 page per week or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, uh that's just how I approach it. um and the one thing I wouldn't recommend, especially if you're doing webcomics, is doing like a drop model, like where a lot of manga, like web manga artists, will do a 40 something page chapter. Like, just they'll spend months working on a chapter, and they'll make it like 45 pages, 50, 60 something pages, and then they'll drop it all at once, like all at once, so that everybody can read. And it's so what's the word, like the thing is like it's all out there at once. So when people finish reading it, that's basically it. That's the end of the conversation. Like, they finish reading it, and now they're waiting. They're just waiting for you to drop the next chapter. And if you don't have the next chapter locked and loaded or ready the next month, people start to slowly forget about you unless you keep reminding them about the chapter that you dropped. But because they already read the full chapter, like there's really no reason for them to come back until you drop the next chapter. And I fell into that with Air Rider #2, where I just dropped it all on one day, and I thought people would just come by and read it all, and then you know, and I would be able to finish chapter 3 and then drop that in the next month or something like that. I was not able to finish chapter 3 by a month, and even to this day it's not been posted. So people who read chapter 2 on that day just never got chapter 3, you know. And that's the mistake I made, because I thought I was just like gonna post like these web manga artists where they draw something, then they drop it all at once. And that can be really motivating for some people to keep working and work faster to catch up. But for other people, it could be like really draining. I think for a lot of people, it could be really draining if it's not self-sustaining by that point. Because if you're not financially incentivized to keep posting or keep updating, then other things will get in the way of you actually making the comic. This is something I noticed with, unfortunately, with what's his name, DD Mark. Like, I haven't seen anything new for his comic for a long time, and I still think it will come back at some point. But when he was like on top of everything, like he would be dropping like almost monthly or every couple of months, and he'd be dropping a lot of pages per chapter. Whereas if he was doing a webcomic, he would be dropping maybe 3, and if he really wanted to push it, 4 pages per week. But if he wanted to have a consistent, steady schedule, he'd be dropping 2 pages per week, and he'd be still posting his backlog of pages to this day, and slowly building up a readership, a reader base. He already has a reader base based on his previous output, but that's because it was so fast. Like, it was prodigious, like prolific too. And it was but because he hasn't like been online for a while, it's like I'll still check back, like, oh, has he come back? Is he posting yet? No. And then I'll just wait, and then I'll come back and see if he's posting yet. And that's because he's already posted everything he has in his backlog. And maybe now he's building up a new backlog, but until then, some people may have forgotten, some people may be checking in like me, or, you know, but it's hard to keep the energy alive when you drop it all at once. It's kind of like how Netflix will drop, I don't know if they still do this, but they'll drop the whole season of a show, boom, on the same day. And everybody, like, people watch it on their own time. They'll watch it here, they'll watch it there, and that kind of thing. Some people will make a conversation about it, but the conversation isn't really ongoing because nobody's eagerly awaiting the next week episode. You know what I mean? Like when you have a weekly episode drop rate, people are like, you're building momentum, you're building steam. People are waiting for it. They're eagerly like, they're developing theories, thinking about like, oh, what's this mean? How can this connect to this thing? Like, what's it going to be like? There's just more power in dropping on a steady pace. You know what I mean? So that's why the webcomic model is so like tried and true, where as long as you're consistent and people know that you consistently post, especially in a digital space, that's the most important thing, is being consistent enough to where people can set their watch to you almost and know that you're going to be posting at this time on this day, and they can expect their new chapter when you say you're going to post it, because that will get you more, what's the word, more eyes, more attention, that kind of stuff. Like it'll make it so that you're not having to go on a hiatus or indefinite hiatus because you're building up more pages because you use them all at once. Whereas instead you're going to be posting a little bit, and you'll always have something to post. So you'll always be in people's mind like, oh, there's another bit of the story I like that came out. I'm going to go read it, or I'm going to wait for some more pages to build up. And it's just a lot more sustainable doing it that way. You can keep it up for longer. Let's see. Alpha Proto. Oh, Master Panda says, Ken, you're basically the Miyamoto Musashi roaming Japan, dueling and living a minimalist lifestyle, only dedicated to the craft. Respect. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm definitely not a minimalist by any means. I just have all these like these books, these anime books, all this stuff surrounding me. I can't live without them. So definitely not a minimalist. McLeod says, that boy being a creep in the back. He's talking about this monster thing over here. Yeah, I think we'll continue the illustration from there with that monster. Sounds like the Japanese artists do the Netflix model or page nubs. No, they do the webcomic model, but on steroids. Like, especially if they're doing a weekly comic, they'll be dropping 20-page chunks here, 20-page chunks the next week, 20-page chunks the next week. But that's because they're paid and incentivized to do it that way. And by the end of the month, they have 100 pages that they've dropped. If they're doing 20 pages per, no, not 100, 80 pages that they've dropped if they're doing 20 pages per week. The other model is like the monthly model, which is 45 pages in Japan of black and white art, or 20 pages in America of colored work. And that I feel is much more sustainable, and you can make higher quality work doing it that way. I would prefer to do the weekly drop model if I could handle the stress of making it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I would have to see how that would shake out. I'd have to actually try it one day just to see, like, oh, what does it actually take? But you know, it's a different type of thing. Let's see. Master Panda says, yeah, I think I'd rather drop scenes in increments so that you can maintain a consistent interest as you continue to produce, but to each his own, I suppose. Yeah, exactly. Nick Stream says, is your publisher on the League of Comic Geeks website? I actually don't know. Her name is Ngozi Ukazu, and she makes this comic, or this webcomic called Check Please. And that is a like a hockey, like a gay hockey webcomic that she started way back in like the 2010s, and it got really popular, and she made like over $1 million in crowdfunding. But yeah, I don't know, like, she's not an official publisher, but she's basically funding the creation of Saintly, and she's helping me edit it to make it really good. If I do end up in her position one day, I would like to um, basically like pay it forward and do the same thing for somebody else one day, where I help a rising talent and like develop their work, develop their idea, and then put out a sick webcomic or something like that that they're really passionate about. But I would only do that for somebody basically as passionate as I am, or somebody not even as passionate as I am, like, because a lot of people are as passionate as I am, but I want to see somebody who's actually already doing it on their own and continuing to make it happen. Like for me, the whole reason why Ngozi actually like started funding me on this is because she saw that I was actually already created and funded my own webcomic twice through Air Rider. So I made and published Air Rider twice. I did 2 campaigns and sold them, and made a whole bunch of comics and just a little bit of money, but that was enough follow through for her to see like, oh, like I'm serious. And we've been in contact for like since 2019, I think. And she just happened to live in Texas as well. And so yeah, she saw like, oh yeah, he has actual follow through. Let me fund him and see what he can do with some time, because that's the thing that money buys you with comics, is it buys you actual time to create the comic, to improve your craft really quick because you're drawing all the time. In fact, let me just start drawing this next piece, or sketching out some thumbnails here. But it buys you time to actually sit there and think and draw and improve your craft so that you can actually like start a career in comics. Like when you're starting comics, the main thing that you need is time and energy and focus. So the reason she was funding this was so that I actually would have time and energy and focus to be able to draw the comic. Because without that, I would just be working jobs to keep the lights on, and I wouldn't have nearly as much produced by now, because I would just be working all the time and never being able to bring the idea to life. I would just be putting it always like on the back burner. It would never turn into something that people would be able to fully like, it wouldn't be fully realized for a really long time, because it's just so time consuming to make comics to begin with, that you would need a miracle or a big influx of funding to actually pull it off. So that's kind of what I have in this situation, and because I have that, I'm using every living second that I have to make sure this book succeeds in some way, like making YouTube videos, studying the craft, writing, drawing, making sure that I can continue this for as long as possible. Like there's I've had like job opportunities come up where I'm just like, yeah, I can't take that right now. Like literally, if I lock in for the next 2 to 3 years, even making like the pitiful money I'm making right now, it would be more beneficial than getting a job right now, because getting a job right now would um improve things financially for a while, but it would severely damage the progress of making this book, and it just would kill all the momentum. Not 100%, but it would slow things down considerably. And I just need to focus while I have the time to be able to do so, and not take it for granted. You know what I mean? Because it'd be one thing if I had all this time, but I was just fucking around playing games and stuff. Like, yeah, I think I'll just take a nice little break and play some video games or whatever. Or I'll like go hang out with friends and start trying to have a work-life balance. Like, no, it's not the time for that. That all that stuff can wait. We can focus on doing that later, maybe in a couple of years, in a time skip. Once I'm done with the comic, like, then I can maybe have some break. But once it's time to start selling it, or it's time to start like running Kickstarters, I'll just be doing that full time, and going to shows. Because right now, even shows, I can't do a lot of shows because like conventions and stuff like that, because making the comic takes priority over everything. Like, make the comic, finish the comic, and then once it's turned into a book and people can see like, oh, this is a real thing, whoa, then it's like, okay, maybe I can do some other stuff, or try some other things. But until then, it's just lock-in time. There's no dating, there's no hanging out. I mean, there's hanging out a little bit here and there, but definitely no dating, because dating takes a lot of emotional and mental energy just to even get like one girl, you know what I mean? And that shit is annoying, bro. I hate that more than anything. Like, that would just take up all my extra mental space, just thinking about texting girls or whatever and trying to get that started again. I hate that. But yeah, let me see what's up with the comments. Let's see. Missing hairline. Hey, what's up? He says, you'll get there, big dog. Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it. Alpha Proto says, you are in Texas, do you attend conventions in Texas? Yeah, I do. But I haven't done much besides one this year in Austin called Staple, and I'm doing another one in, what's it called? It's in November, called what is it called? Casa. It's Comic Arts San Antonio. Let me pull it up. All right. So this is the convention that I'll be doing in November, I think. And I wonder if they have my name on there yet. This is the 2026. Yeah, maybe I'm not listed yet, but I'm going to be here. Dang, he's unable to attend. Darn. But yeah, that's the goal for this year. But really, I'll be hitting the convention circuit like even harder once the book is done. And then when the book is done, it's like, I have a book now. Anytime your book becomes a calling card once you're done with it. Like, anytime somebody asks you like, oh, what do you do? What do you make? You can just point to the book and be like, hey, I made this. Check it out. And that becomes basically your business card. Like, oh, this guy's legit. you know. Nick Stream says, I just found it on there. If you get Saintly on there, it'll be a good way to reach an American audience once the webtoon drops. Just found it on there. Found it. Oh, on Comic League of Comic Geeks website. Oh, that's good. Nice. Hey, John, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Let's see. The finished image looks great. Yeah, let me show you really quick. Yeah, this is it right here. And then we have like a little dialogue balloon situation there. And then there's a little bit of a monster in the back there. And right now we're concepting the next piece with the monster chasing them. And that's kind of the whole deal with Saintly, is like there's always some type of monster chase. I kind of like this composition here. Ooh, yeah. I kind of like that. It's like a triangle type thing. Let me see. Popping Rico. Hey, what's up, man? Says, evening, good sir. Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Alpha Proto says, dating as an artist is not as cool as the romance movies make it seem. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Because, like, without money and without time, it's almost, what's the word? Pointless. Like, it's so hard to actually pull off. And I actually had to give up drawing for a period of time just to, like, figure out dating and make it work for me. Like, I had to literally give up drawing to date because I had never done it before, and I was just like, okay, it's now or never. And we had a whole discussion about this like a long time ago on one of these live streams where basically, like, for a guy, it's really a good idea to do something like that if you hadn't had any experience like that before, like sexual experiences, because it helps kind of temper your brain, temper your mind a little bit, and it helps you not to become like a freaky freak, you know what I mean, like Neil Gaiman or something, like where you have your desire suppressed for so long that it ends up turning and twisting and becoming this weird thing that comes out in random negative ways later on. So if you find a way to express your sexuality healthily or in a healthy way early on, then you won't have to worry about it becoming like twisted and weird later on down the line. And we had a discussion about that like last year on the live stream. So yeah, John says, what part of Texas? I'm near Austin area. Scaby says, I'm a truck driver. I got a family and I draw and do comics on the side, but yeah, social life takes up a lot. Haven't been able to do anything within a year. Damn. Yeah. And even when I was on my own, like doing like marketing for myself, like it was even hard to find time then. So yeah. And even now, I don't recommend anybody get into making comics for a living because it's just that difficult to do so. But if you can make it, like if you can, definitely by all means try. But yeah. Alpha Proto said, dang, I'm in North Texas. That drive to Austin and San Antonio would take a hotel stay, so I can't go. Yeah, that's how it is, man. Nick Stream says, I got my first commission because I needed money for a date. Nice, dude. Yeah, I mean, that shit will compel you to do anything, man. Like, dang, I need money, man. Let's get it going. That's dope, man. That's pretty cool. Master Panda says, hi, yeah, man, I remember the live stream where he talked about taking a hiatus so he could do dating side quests. That was a good discussion. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was. It was a really fun discussion because that that is like some serious. It can get serious. Like it's some stuff that that you want to be able to know that you can do when you need to. You know what I mean? And not be kind of stuck and stifled in your own mind thinking like, oh, nobody loves me or nobody wants me or whatever. Because when you get into that state of mind, like it can be bad, man. Like it can be bad. Some people, there was another freaky freak recently, like I don't know, I forget his name, but he was like filming women in like bathrooms and stuff with a camera, and he got caught at like some birthday party or whatever. And he was working in like comics journalism or something like that. And it's like, bro, why are you doing that? Like, where does that even come from? Where does the urge even come from? Like, and I think, and for me, I always thought like, yeah, it probably comes from like suppressed sexual desires that are just manifest in a very negative way. So, yep. Okay, I'm starting to. I like this composition so far, and I'm thinking to expand on that, or maybe flip it around and do it the other way. But I want to erase this box first, because when I think about drawing even a single image, I think about reading order. So American reading order is like from right or from left to right. So if they're running in the opposite direction, then it kind of goes against the flow of reading order in America. So I'd have them first I want to copy and paste this layer. I would take this. What the? No, that's not what I wanted to do. I would take this, make another version down here, and then flip that and have them be running this way. And that way it continues the image in a way that makes it look like they're actually running away towards a conclusion point, which would take place outside of the frame or outside of the image. Let me see the comments. Alpha Proto said that could end up being a fork in the road situation, comics or settling down. If comics is the moneymaker, then you won't have to choose in between those two. Especially if you find somebody who's on board with it. Let's see. Steven Wings. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. It says, when the freaky stuff leaks into your work, cringe. You can tell as a reader, too. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, especially in Japan, that stuff is actually encouraged. Like, because I feel like a lot of manga artists don't really have the time to either date or even enjoy their married life. But this is just a speculation. It's not based in any type of reality or whatever. But I mean, if Kishimoto is having trouble even being able to go on a honeymoon, I mean, somehow they found time to make kids and stuff. Like they found the time, but they encouraged, put the freaky stuff in there, man. Don't hold back, because they just don't have the opportunity to really, experience that a lot in real life unless they're like between serializations and stuff like that. So, yep. Let's see. Oh, and like a lot of that too is when the manga is like going down in the reader survey. They start adding fan service to get readership back, and you can always tell when it's like they're putting that stuff in there because they know people aren't reading or something like that. Like you can tell, like you're just like they've run out of ideas, and it sucks to see, but it's like, well, let's see what kind of fan service you got. You know what I mean? Like they go out swinging. They never just accept the end. They were just like, all right, well, fan service, because fuck it, man. And I'm pretty sure that's a editor suggestion. Like the editor's just like, well, fuck it, just show some titties, dude. Show some titties, like, you know, just drop some ass in there, and boom, like you got a story. Uh, and that's because they're always pushed to like the edge of their imagination, and the edge of their skill, the edge of their time. They really don't have all the time in the world to make a good story. So um so doing that is almost like a last ditch effort to really get some readers interested again, unless you can tell the artist really actually enjoys that stuff and wants to put it in there at the forefront, like Hiroya Oku with Gantz. And when I like, he was not hurting for readers, and when he just he just did it for the love of the game, dude. He had a character in there, like in the first few chapters of Gantz, that was just a naked girl, like she was just naked and just had big old titties. And that would be like, that's just part of the story. That was just like part of the reading experience. Like the story itself was good already. It was like it could keep your attention from week to week. There was no, like, it wasn't suffering in the reader polls or anything. It was interesting, but he just about that life. So he put that stuff in there. Whereas a lot of stories that you see that don't start off with that explicitly and then start putting it in there, it's like, yep, you run out of ideas, or like we're at that phase. So, or like what's his name, fairy tale guy, Hiro Mashima. He's just about that life. Like he just likes putting that stuff in there, man. Like he goes crazy with it. So yeah, it's really up to you, man, how you want to address it. But I never looked down on it really, because even what's his name, even Mobius did erotica, or even Mobius did like drawing titties and all kinds of stuff. They just have a different outlook on it in French media, or in like European comics. They have a different idea of sexuality over there. So it's totally fine in my book. Personally, I'm still trying to find my line and figure out like, oh, okay, what am I comfortable with? What am I not comfortable with? And what do I like drawing? What do I not like drawing? Still figuring that out. But I kind of like that we're in the pool rooms. I like this exploration of the pool rooms and the back rooms in general. Like all of that stuff is fun to me. So I'm just like, all right, let's see if I can add more to it, you know. Let's see. Master Panda says, agreed. Artists often live in isolation with no access to intimacy from the opposite sex. Yeah. A handful are built to endure this, but I'd assume that most are not equipped for it. Yeah. That's very true. Like you'll spend a lot of time on your own at the drawing board. And luckily I'm living with family, so I'm never alone 100% of the time. Like I can go down and talk to them, or they'll usually need me for something, and it's never 100% loneliness. I can always go to them and talk to them, or take a drive with them or whatever. So I never need to just be like Nobody loves me because I'm surrounded by my family. So there's always somebody around that loves me, whether I like it or not. You know. Scaby says, ever since Chris Chan got a woman, he never does comics no more. That is insane, and I'm not even sure how he got a woman because that guy should be in jail. What are we talking about? Got a woman? Like EDP, like how EDP got a woman, dude. Like that's crazy. How are these guys getting anything? You know what I mean? But I will say this, like, having ladies in your life does make you like chill out in some way. Like you don't take online comments as seriously. You don't take uh insults as seriously because you're getting some. Like you're just chilling. Like you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm getting some. So, oh, what did you say about my mom? Oh man, whatever, dude. Water off a duck's back. You know what I mean? Like things start to slide off you more because you're just in a headspace where you're just like, yeah, but I got laid last night, so I'm chilling. It's different. Like a guy without that sexual expression in some way in his life is a little bit more high strung just off rip, like automatically. Like they're just gonna be like, ah, this person said this about me, like, and they'll take it too seriously, and it'll just be a whole problem. And it's not a good look, but it is what it is. Like, it what's the word? It's it can get out of hand. That's what I'll say. It can get out of hand. Let's see. Damn, a lot of comments came in. Did you live stream or video your last convention? No, I never live stream any conventions. I'm not even sure if they allow like stuff like that. But I'll take pictures every once in a while. I'll take pictures of my desk and pictures of me at my desk and that kind of stuff. Steven Wing says it's amazing to seeing creative people make relationships work, though. One thing for sure, it isn't an ordinary relationship. Kishimoto not going on a honeymoon or Chef Ramsay being away 24/7. Dang, Chef Ramsay is away 24/7. Like his wife is a real one because I mean they have kids and all that, but that guy is like so in the public eye. Like you have to schedule time to really be with your loved ones if you're going that hard. And for me personally, like I want to be going this hard at all times. Even when I do have like a wife and kids and all that kind of stuff, like I still want to be going hard, but I'm gonna have to schedule time when I'm able to like hang with my family and you know, just like chill out with them and stuff. Because I always feel like, dang, I gotta really lock in and put in as much time and effort and speed into. Oh, I want to put this on my Slayer's board. Nice. Anyways, yeah, I have to put in as much time, effort, and speed into putting out as much work as I can until I do have like some type of deeper relationship. And even then, I would have to find ways to make time for the relationship so that I'm not always 100% consumed by art. Because even art has its limits in how fulfilling it can be for your life. I haven't found the ultimate. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't. It won't be the thing that drives you forever, you know. I mean, I could be driven by my aesthetic forever, but at some point you have that desire for companionship because all those things are built into you as a human being. Like it's built in primally, you know what I mean? I could spend the next couple of years just chilling, like just drawing and making Saintly and whatnot, but there will come a time like where I'm like, dang, I just need some girls, man. I just need some girls in my life. But because I've had those experiences in the past, I'm chilling right now. Like I'm not like depressed or worried or just like sad about anything, I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta draw this comic, make this comic better. But I think that's just because wired that way specifically. Not everybody is wired in that way. Personally, I wish I was asexual, so I don't have to like be thinking about this stuff all the time, where I could just focus 100% on making comics and not even worried about dating or any of this stuff. But unfortunately, I have to I have to do that kind of stuff from time to time. The creator of Hunter x Hunter married the creator of Sailor Moon. Yeah, dude, and now they're both rich as hell. Good to see you out here making good work. Hey, appreciate it, Steven. John says, an American comic surveys lead to killing Robin by Joker. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yep, with Jason Todd and all that. Alpha Proto, need that beach hot spring issue. This is basically all that I can do in terms of hot spring issue. It's like oh, you know what? The pool rooms is kind of like a hot spring that's not hot at all. It's more or less just a pool underground. But yeah, I like I just did I would call it like my summer piece, you know. Steven Wing says, all relationship takes so much work and understanding. A passionate, hungry, creative while another level. Yep. Black Swan says, what's your outlook on YouTube's monetization, new monetization requirement? Has it changed your approach? Anything about your approach? Nope, not at all, because I'm already in the monetization program, so I'm just like, I'm chilling. I think for the most part, I make sure my videos are usually over around 8 minutes, because that's what helps like increase watch time and that kind of stuff. But for the like, I'm not really worried about the new requirements, because I'm more or less like, whoa, phew, I made it in before before they up the ante, and I'm just like chilling because I don't have to meet the new requirements. I'm just like, oh well, I got in there early, so good luck everybody else. You know, that's how I feel about it. So it hasn't really changed my approach at all. Alpha Proto says, and that manga was Gantz. I need to know for research. Yeah, Gantz. It's spelled with a Z at the end. Feel free to do all the research you want, man. It's a really good series. It's kind of like a horror psychological series, and it's really cool. One of the greats, Rumiko Takahashi, draws nudes in all her work. Tasteful and respectful. Yeah, she's like she draws more fan service than a lot of guys these days. But times were different back then as well. And yeah, she's one of the most prolific comic creators ever. You know, she's on that similar level as what's his name? Osamu Tezuka, without necessarily doing exactly what Osamu Tezuka does. Like she draws in a similar style that's very quick and easy to create stories out of. But she also just does a lot of stories, like sheer volume. And I'm just like, she's one of those that other people consider her a monster in terms of her output. Like, it's just prolific. She's one of those people that is not only able to survive a weekly serialization, but thrives in a weekly serialization. Same with Boichi, creator of Sun Ken Rock and Dr. Stone, or he was the artist for Dr. Stone. Like he came to Japan and he was just like, oh man, this is so much easier than working in Korea, and I get paid more. Like he likes working weekly serializations because he can handle it. And I'm just like, with that art, how are you able to do anything? I have no idea, but he just loves it. Steven Wing says, Freaky stuff is fine depending, but doing it unintentionally because of stuff you haven't figured out is another thing. Yeah, sometimes that it just comes out in ways that other people notice, but you can't notice because you just think it's a normal thing. Mort Mole says, "Sup? Hey, what's up? Appreciate coming out to the show, dude." Alpha Proto says, "Anyone can get a woman if you keep your standards and intentions low enough." That is 100% true. Yes, indeed. Yep. And actually, that's required to start getting women at first. Like, if that's what you want, just keep your standards low as hell. Like, don't be like, oh, I have to get a baddie like Momo from Dandadan. Like, don't start with that. Just focus on who likes you at first, and you can worry about leveling up later. But yeah. Joseph Lopez, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out. Scaby says it's got to be ego. I'm wondering what part of that. Oh, you mean like suppressed stuff? Mortmole says, hey, I recently read chapter 1 of your comic. I really enjoyed it. You have a really nice art style. How do I read chapter 2? Hey, appreciate you checking out Saintly and the email. The chapter 2 isn't launched yet. It's basically the whole comic is going to be launched in October, and it'll be launching like maybe 2 pages per week. Like, it'll be updating at a pace of 2 pages per week until chapter 2 comes out, and then it'll be available. But I think what I might do for early bird readers is make it available on some type of Patreon or something like that, where people who've already read chapter 1 can just read chapter 2 as it before anybody else on Patreon, and just buy like a digital download of chapter 2, and then I'll have chapter 3 as a digital download as well, and people can read ahead, like way ahead of everybody else. And I'll have like the Patreon where I'm just updating the latest pages while everybody else is like years behind. That'll be funny. Stephen Wing says Chef Ramsay sets 3 months a year for family and tries to be with family as much as possible. He's voiced how much he misses and how hard it is running shows and restaurants around the world. Yeah, it's insane. And I used to watch like everything he was doing because it was hilarious, like watching him just tear up fucking restaurants and stuff on like Kitchen Nightmares in Hell's Kitchen, and there's like even a British version of his shows that are just like super low key and quiet, and it's still him, but it doesn't have all the music and cuts and the sound effects like the American version does, because we have just a different kind of mind. So yeah. John says, how did they up the ante on what? She is a legend, Rumiko Takahashi. She still works hard every day. Yeah, I think she's doing a serial that's coming after her latest comic, Mal, or something like that. John says, does anyone remember a Mad TV skit called Lowered Expectations, Living in the Future? No, I don't actually. I don't remember that skit at all. Okay. So basically, I'm looking at these other drawings over here to kind of get an idea of what the direction I want to go with this new piece. This kind of has an interesting floor, like the ground level, but I'm not going to go with that one. It'd be kind of nice to do a nice blue, sky blue piece, but that's not what this piece is. I'm gonna just flip through for some inspiration, because anytime I draw, I like to get a little bit closer to my aesthetic. What's the word? My aesthetic sensibility. Like, I just like to get just a little bit closer. Because I love stuff like this. Like, this has like a really interesting coloring style on this character right here. I recognize this little thing, this guy underneath. He's like the guy who's always saying like annihilate in what's it, Sonic Heroes, but I don't know the character on top. But this, I like the way it's painted. Um, and then we have something like this. Like this is really cool, like really well painted as well. Kwang Kim. I've never. This is probably one of two pieces I have by him. Yeah, and I'll just probably like flip through this just to get some ideas, because I love flipping through this board. Like this is how I also maintain my excitement to draw, is like if you have a, what do you call it, a collection, just a board where you collect, like a mood board basically, where you collect everything that's inspired you from the past up until now. Like it gets you in the mood for drawing. Especially me, I just feel a sense of calm looking at this art. And I get inspiration, like endless inspiration, just by looking at it. So I'm trying to think of which direction to take the piece. And you know what? I think I figured out something that I would like to do, and that is to make the floor reflective. That would really help sell the sort of wetness factor in the pool rooms area. And let me look. There was a demon that I just came across, but I think that was in a, what do you call it, in one of the suggested posts, so it wasn't fully there. But I like the art from this creator. I guess his name is Mako on X. And he always does pieces like this where it's like a warrior trying to fight a demon in usually a very green type of landscape. And he's just got a really cool style. But these days on Pinterest, like sometimes you can't really tell if things are AI or regular drawings. This is from Mina Sundberg, and this is from her webcomic. Like she was pulling off stuff like that on a weekly basis when she was making her webcomic. And she did a basically a 500 page, maybe 600 page, like previous webcomic just to practice for doing this one. And it really shows. A lot of manga artists get good just because they're drawing an insane amount. Like they're drawing so much that they can't help but get good and fast. So that's kind of what I'm taking advantage of right now. It's like, as long as I can keep producing drawing, like keep producing art and keep producing high volume, I feel like I can get better a lot faster. Dang, this false memory, it's coming out now, but dang, I was saving this stuff back when the first little trailer came out on like maybe Katsuka, this animation website that posts stuff. Like this stuff came out a long time ago, like maybe 2020, like 2020 period. But yeah, I just like flipping through this. Let's see, this one is a good Sakuga moment. I wonder if it will play. It's from this anime called Alien 9 that I've never seen, but I like the style of it. Let me see. Black Swan says, do you have time to work out while making manga full time? I do little things like push-ups, sit-ups, or squats, and that's just to maintain what I already have. Like I worked out heavily during like throughout my entire 20s, but now it's really slowed down, so that I don't like really like injure myself or get too hurt. But I'll take walks, like long walks around the block, twice per day, and then I'll just do push-ups and pull-ups. I have a pull-up bar to keep just to maintain things while I'm in this like heavy production time frame. Then afterward, once I have time again, I'll be able to sort of put more time into working out. But I feel like I need to do that more these days anyway, just um so that I don't let my health decline too fast. Let me put this in interesting too. That's a really nice shot. Nice. So basically we're concepting right now, and I really like this one so far. But I do want Vivi to be a little bit more towards the back. Let's see. What was this one called? Oh, Stephen Wing says weekly. Dang, yeah. Harley Art Studio. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Definitely more wet effect on their skin, Ken. Yep. I put some wet effect here. This was actually the last step that I did, putting the water droplets, because I completely forgot about it throughout the entire thing until like the very end, and I was just like, oh wait, you know what? Yeah, I should put that there, because they just came out the water slide, so that would make sense. Oh yeah, one of my favorite artists is what's his name? John Boulette Corp. I don't think it's Boulette 100%. I think it's maybe Boulet or something. But he is really good. Hold on. Yeah, this one's good. I like this. Wait, is it AI? Oh no. Sometimes things are flagged as AI, even though they're not. So I like the color scheme of it. And there's like things that have been flagged as AI, where I know that I've seen it before it was flagged. And I was just like, wait a minute. This was before AI even came out. So how is it flagged as AI? And then there are things that are so obvious that you're just like, all right, yeah, that's AI. Really, I'm trying to get to a level where I can create something like this. Like if I could make something on this level with a highly rendered background, really nice coloring, like naturalistic coloring. I'm pretty sure this is a JoJo's piece, if I'm not mistaken. And I never knew that in the past. I saved this like years and years ago. But yeah, if I can get to this level where I'm just busting out pieces like that, I would be so lit, man. I'd be like happy. Let me see. That looks cool. Let me put that, save that. This looks cool too. What the hell? Yeah, it's got a really cool color scheme. I'll put that in interesting. And then look at this one. This one's pretty good, but I'll put that in like probably illustration 5. Oh, I guess I only have 4. Oh no, I saw illustration 5. Where is it? Number 5. And this is how you develop a Pinterest addiction, man. Like literally, like you can get so addicted to saving stuff and putting it in your different folders and all that kind of stuff, just so you have something to like flip through and get some inspiration from. Let's see some of the comments here. Let's see, man. Any kind of serious gym schedule is difficult to maintain while working on comics. Having a 9-to-5, a comic, and fitness is a lot to juggle at once. You really have to be locked in. Respect. Yeah, man, that's a lot. Like, and the thing is like, if you don't have for me, I need some type of motivation to keep going to the gym, where it's like I'm building up towards something or building up to be able to do something. um so for me in the past, it's like I want to get some girls, man. So I would hit the gym and I'd be like, all right, we gotta hit the squats, we gotta hit the arms, all that stuff. But now I don't really have as much motivation besides keeping my health up. And I think if I gave myself some sort of goal to work towards, I'd be more active. Not even in the gym, but just on my own. But I already live in such a hot room right now that's like I don't even feel like doing anything besides finding a way to cool down. But yeah, I think I've gotten a good eye full of all this stuff. Let me see. Instagram has been flagging everything as AI to confuse people. Yeah, that's crazy. Steven says, are you satisfied at your workflow speed right now? Nope, never satisfied. I have to get faster. I'm trying to find a way to get faster or as fast as I can possibly be, while also reaching the highest level of quality that I can reach. So that means in terms of writing, that means in terms of drawing the story, I want to reach both the highest level of quality, and I think that requires having a specific parameter that you're working within, that you can hit certain metrics within that parameter. So that would mean I'm making the videos that I'm making right now at the pace that I'm making them, while also trying to get to a point where I can draw 20 pages within a month. But I want to find a quality level that's acceptable to me within that 20 pages per month, and just hit that consistently and do that for as many years as I can do that in a row, while also selling the book. And I feel like if I can do that and be consistent with that, then I can develop a team around being able to do that, and eventually be able to do even more per month. It'd be cool to hit like 45 pages written, drawn, and colored per month, working with a team or something like that. It'd be really cool to be able to do that, but it's not 100% necessary. What I would want to do, I think maybe at my highest level of output, is I would want to have like a monthly comic, 20 pages with a cover, then some type of weekly illustration, some type of monthly illustration, and then every quarter, like every 3 months, there would be some type of animation, like a minor animation, doesn't have to be big, with maybe a little tune to go along with it, to maybe drop a chapter or drop like a book or release or something like that, for it to all like go together and be a cohesive whole. And that's how I'd like to run it, and I want to see if I can pull that off on my own to some extent. If I can't, I mean, that's no skin off my back. I mean, that's just an impossible, that's a really tall order, you know what I mean? But it would be cool to be able to do that on my own, like 20 pages per month, YouTube videos every day, well, not every day, every single day, but 20 pages per month, YouTube videos consistently, illustration per week, illustration per month, and an animation, small animation every 60 or every 90 days. That I mean, that's just how I think about it. Like, man, I want to be able to produce something like that as much as I can on my own, and then develop a team to be able to help produce that. Because the thing about like making comics or making a project, especially on your own or like as a webcomic type thing, is it has to be secure from the foundation. It has to be good from the foundation. Like, you have to know you have a good idea, but then once you see people are excited about it, I personally want to keep producing as much of it as possible, so I can be on a schedule, produce consistently, and make it so interesting that people are absorbed in the world and they want to explore more of what's going on and see all that it has to offer. So that's always what I aim for. I'm always trying to create more and more as much as I can, like until it's all done, you know what I mean? Let me see what we got in terms of comments. Let's see. John says, when you get older, just working 2 to 3 times per week is to maintain. Just working out 2 to 3 times per week to maintain is bare minimum. Yep. Let's see. John says, nothing but the truth. But an artist can easily fix. Handless A says, hi Ken. Hey, what's up, Handless? How you doing? Appreciate you coming to the show. Black Swan says, in your experience, if you were going to advise a young person on their future, would you recommend comic artists as a profession or find another skill and make comics on the side? Yeah, I would say I would have to look at their dedication. I would have to look at their like their art style. I would have to look at their skill, because I can almost tell by the artist if they're really about making comics. Like if they're really about it, where like no, they won't take no for an answer, and it either shows in their aesthetic style, or it shows in the amount of volume that they're putting out, that they're serious about making comics in some capacity. Those people I would recommend, like, if you're gonna take this seriously, then make comics at all costs and keep making them until you are making enough to live off of your work. That's when you can go even harder, because that's that's what it's gonna take. But if you see this through to the end, you can make a really good living off of comic art that isn't even that great. You can make a really good living just doing your own thing. You don't have to become as famous as Invincible or whatever. You can make a decent living just off of regular work. And if you take it seriously, definitely go into comics. But for most everybody else, I would say nah, dude, get a job at McDonald's. Get a high paying position at McDonald's, and even cashier is better than being an artist. Like work dishes, go to a warehouse. Like you'll make more money doing that than you will at comics at first, because most people won't be willing to stick out that really difficult early phase where they're not making any money, and everything's hard. Like you can't even find the time to get to the drawing table or writing table or whatever. And most people will quit before then. And to those people, I would just advise, like, hey, anything else you can use your skills for, do that, because comics requires nearly every skill that you would have as an artist: writing, drawing, inking, lettering, penciling, coloring, all that stuff. But you're only making, like, for every 100 images that you're making, you're only getting like 2 cents back. And that's until you make enough to really start making money at the job. Because comic pages, I'm going to make a video about this pretty soon. Like, comic pages are currency. The more pages that you have of a product, or not a product, but and the word isn't project either. The more pages you have of the story that you're working on, the more people can invest in your story. Like, it's a currency. Like, oh, this creator only has 10 pages, so their currency is weak. There's not much there to invest in. This creator has 100 pages. There's way more to invest in, and people can and it can be turned into a book. So people have a whole book that a whole book of characters and stories that they can attach to. You know what I mean? But one page is like having $1, and nobody wants to be that guy. So if you can get to if you can keep creating to the point where you get to like this spark point, or this point where it's making money for you, um, just it's sustaining itself, then absolutely keep making comics. But until then, it's going to be struggle. And if you're not willing to put in that struggle, then just find something that's more lucrative or more enjoyable. Because there's this quote from, I think maybe it's Baki the Grappler, that says the man who works hard will never beat the man who is just enjoying himself. And I enjoy comics more than pretty much anything else, or I enjoy making comics more than anything else, or even like studying and learning about comics. Like I spent, I don't know how many hours yesterday just reading in Japanese different comic tips about lettering, and or not lettering, like writing stories, or splitting up panels, that kind of thing, just because that's what I like to do. Like this is the whole reason why I didn't even date when I was younger. Like in high school, I was just reading DeviantArt tutorials on how to draw shading, or how to color things better, or how to write comics better, or draw comics better. I was trying to discover the secrets behind why I felt a certain way about different comics. Like when I would read, I would feel my heart move, like, oh, that felt like it hit me like right here in the chest. Why did I feel like that? I would start asking myself, like, why? Like, what type of story is this that it made me feel something? And I was just like, okay, let me go on a hunt and find information. Like, how can I make this? How can I create this in my own work so I can make somebody else feel like that too? And I was just compelled, like, by that vision and by wanting to create. And I love it more than anything. And that's why I'm willing to suffer anything to get to the point of finishing this book, but also making comics for as long as I possibly can. Almost nothing else really matters to me in general in life. Like I do want to go travel. I do want to like see other places, have a life, you know, get girls, all that kind of stuff. But for me, expressing this vision comes first before anything else. And I'm just obsessed with it, and I can't really help it. Like comics is something that you have to be so obsessed with that you can't even really help but make stories. Like you're making stories on accident. Like, oh shit, I just tripped, and a story just fell out while you were tripping, in the process of tripping. So that's kind of how obsessed with comics you have to be, like to almost to an unhealthy degree. Like, dang, I really just am trying to make this work, make comics, and but you also have to be realistic and understand like your level of skill, your level of quality, and you have to have like a sharp mindset of, if something's not working, you need to change it immediately and start doing what is working quickly. Because if you don't do it fast enough, then your comics career is over. Like it comes to a halt, and it's very hard to start it going again once it stops. It's a lot easier when you're younger and you have like less attachments or less obligations to do, but getting older is a little bit harder. It's like, dang, okay, well, I have more attachments, more things that can get in the way of making comics. So yeah, it's that's kind of how I view it. You know what I mean? I'm passionate almost to an annoying degree where I can't turn it off. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I wanna you know, go out and have a full, you know, social life and have friends and all that stuff, but like just seeing stuff like this makes me passionate to keep creating forever. Like especially like this little gif right here. is just so beautiful. Like things like that, I'm just like, dang, can I create something like that? Or can I create something like this? Like I'm just compelled by those questions. And I want to see if I can. And then once I do it, I'm just like, all right, cool. I've answered that. Let me make the next thing. But yeah, that's kind of how we see it. Harley Art Studio says, fantastic mindset. Anything is possible. Hey, appreciate it, man. Northern Jeremiah 5214. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming to the show. Just discovered your channel recently. Loving your vids. Very inspiring, man. I've been wanting to make comics for years, but my self-doubt and fear of failure have been holding me back. Hope to change that. Yeah, dude. Like, I hope some of that, what I was just talking about right now, resonated with you to where you understand, like, you know, that self-doubt stuff is almost, it's like immaterial. It's like a phantasm. It's like an illusion. And if you're compelled beyond fear to just go ahead and create your comics, like none of that stuff will matter. Like self-doubt, fear, that kind of stuff, that won't matter anymore. If you're like compelled, you know. Steven Wing says, it's very impressive you're getting those pages out with YouTube. 5 to 6-ish pages a week then, I believe. I always have to remind myself other artists have assistants to help get that high page rate. Getting 5 to 6 pages a week. No, the last chapter was 20, and I'm going to do a video about this. It was 20 pages, and it was 131 panels. But chapter 2 was also 131 panels. Chapter 2 took 35 days to do, and it was 19 pages and 131 panels. But chapter 3 was also 131 panels, but that one took 2 months to do because of the technical ability required to draw it. I had to use so much more reference. I had to figure out things on the fly that I didn't know how to do already. And those things take up time when you have to learn new things or design a new character. That takes up a lot of time. So chapter 3 took up more time than the previous one. JOM says, make comics at all costs and buy a lottery ticket. Gambling is gambling. Oh yeah. Yep. John says, always bet on yourself. Yep. Warehouse money is good money until you get replaced by robots. Yeah. 2 days a week in the gym, upper body, lower body, 3 days a week in the gym, push pull legs. This isn't the law, but it's pretty standard splits. Those can be long days in the gym. Oh yeah. I used to do that split all the time. Arms, legs, all that stuff. Then I just ran out of money, so I was just like, all right, well, time to just do some push-ups and stayed at home. Steven Wing says, a cartoonist told me that you're more likely to get into the NBA than doing comics full time. It's tough to hear, but the reality. Don't let that stop you, though. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to be delusional, like to almost unrealistic degree, and take all the wins that you do have and keep stacking them up. You know what I mean? I'm delusional, like intensely delusional, but I'm not unrealistic. Like I understand that I do have some level of skill. I do have some level of quality that I can use to reach an audience. But if I didn't have any of that skill at all, like I was just trash at drawing or even at writing, then I would be like bordering on stupid, you know what I mean? Like a dumbass, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't have any skill or, you know, writing skill or drawing skill, and I still believe I can make comics. Then I'm bordering on like, hey bro, you gotta pack it up, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this is most people, but you have to be delusional. Like, you have to be unaware of how hard the path is so that you can actually have the capacity to keep going. Because if you're ever fully aware of how hard the path to like full-time comics is, then you would quit outright and you'd be like, this is for idiots. This is stupid. Why would I ever want to put myself through that? Like, if you become fully aware of it, you'll just be like, you know what? Let me see if McDonald's is hiring. Let me go get a job at Arby's. Like, cause that will pay you more than trying to do comics. So yeah, dude. Handless says, hi Kenneth, your brother is Brandon. That makes me instantly question, who are you? Who are you, dude? Cause that is information that only a few specific people would know. So yeah, dude. I have those same Japanese books but translated in English. They are awesome insight into their culture and methodology about what works in that market. Which books? Because I don't know which ones. Maybe I mentioned something, but I forgot. Let's see. Black Swan says, what would cause you to give up comics as a career? What would cause me to give up comics as a career? Maybe if I lost both hands in a tragic hand losing accident. I mean, I'd probably give up trying to draw comics at that point and instead focus on writing and orchestrating them and just become a director. Like an art director. What would make me give up comics 100%? Because that's a good question. I don't know. I'm just... What would make me give up comics 100%? Nothing. Nothing literally comes to mind. Even if I lost both my hands, I would figure out a way to hold a pencil again or hold, like, you know, some type of drawing implement. And even if I couldn't draw fast enough, I would just get assistants to help. And even then, like, I'd probably just become a painter or some type of creator in that way. And then be a writer of comics or something like that. But yeah, nothing would ever make me give it up 100% unless I was like literally a vegetable and I couldn't talk or say or do anything. But yeah. Mort Mole says, did you do one-shots before starting on your current dream project? I wouldn't call this a dream project, but I wouldn't call it a nightmare project either. Did I do one-shots? No. The only thing I did was Air Rider number 1, 2, and 3. And then I got the offer to do Saintly. And Saintly was already an idea that I had like way back, but I never put it into play until like I accidentally pitched it to my publisher. Like I accidentally told her, I was like, she just asked me. In fact, she offered. She just asked me like, do you have any other ideas besides Air Rider that you've drawn before? And I was like, yeah, I had this one comic idea. It's about like these two girls who end up having to like, one of them borrows money from a demon and they end up having to like run and escape them, or else they lose their souls or something. And she's just like, oh yeah, well, okay, well, tell me more about that one. And I told her more about it. And then I showed her the image. And then once she saw the image, she was like sold on it. She was just like, yeah, this could be worth money. So I'm going to fund you to do this project and drop Air Rider for the time being. You don't have to drop it forever, but we're going to do a graphic novel and you're going to do your own idea. You're going to do Saintly. and we're gonna turn it into something. Uh, if you'll accept this money and um, you know, make the comic. And I was really, really hesitant at first. I was just like, oh, that's a lot of money. To me, that's a lot of money. And it wasn't even a lot, all things considered. But to me, like, there's levels to this stuff. So like to me, it seemed like a lot, but to her, it was just it was what she would spend to hire a colorist on one of her books. You know what I mean? So it was just like, oh yeah, this is just how much I spent on a colorist, and she was just willing to drop that on me, not for free, of course. Like there's gonna be a return on investment, but she was just like, okay, yeah, since this is what I would spend on a colorist, it's not a lot of money to her, so she dropped that on me, and I was just like really hesitant, and then I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll take this opportunity, because I talked to my other buddies about it. I talked to Nick Patera about it and some other comic friends I had, and they were like, take this opportunity. What are you talking about? Just call her back and tell her you're gonna do it, and just go all in on it. Make it happen. And I was just like, dang, okay, well, if you guys recommend it, I guess I'll just do it. And yeah, that's kind of how the situation came to be. Duck FD1zer. I am working on a comic too. Procrastination gets in the way. Yep. It still gets in the way for me too, man. It always finds a way to sneak in there. The delusions of a creative is so amazing. I love the stories of mangakas and cartoonists' insane passion. It just strikes a chord with me. Nice. That's from Steven Wings. Epic Otaku Gamer. Hey, what's up? 4930. There was an artist that didn't have any arms and still got hired to do art. I think he used his feet to art. He got super obsessed and became really good at it. Yeah, man. I seen another handless comic artist, not a comic artist, but he was a painter, and he was just using his nubs to paint. And I was just like, well, if he's using his nubs, I have no excuse. And that's kind of what gave me a lot of energy at that point. I was just like, oh man, this guy's using his nubs to draw. I have no excuse, and I'll never have any excuse ever again. So from that point on, I was just like, all right, well, I just need to lock the fuck in, you know? So yeah, people with no arms still draw. He got super obsessed and became really good at it. JOM says, how much money was it? If you can say. I can't say for now, but after the project is done, I would reveal that amount. Scaby says, if you don't mind sharing, how did you go about finding this editor or publisher? Like, what was your process? Kuroda Yoshi says, making a bag, drawing what you want, that's the dream. Yeah, one day, but I'm not making any type of bag right now. I'm making just enough to keep making the story. And even then, like, when tax season rolls around, I might be I might be cooked. But, you know, like, I just have to sustain this long enough to not go to a job and slow everything down. So as long as I can still be drawing by the end of this, I can turn this into a sustainable thing. I still think even now I have to draw faster than I'm currently going. Like, look at me, I'm just messing around on Pinterest right now, but I should be drawing this illustration and just making a decision, like choosing which layout I want to use. But sometimes I get distracted with what I'm looking at, and it just turns into this. So that Record 7 is awesome. What was even the question? Oh yeah, Scaby says, if you don't mind sharing, how did you go about finding this editor or publisher? Like, what was your process? There was no process. I think one thing I learned way back when was, like, if you want to find a mentor or something like that, you want to offer something to the potential mentor. You want to offer something to them because they're always getting uh they're always getting bombarded with like, oh, can you mentor me? Can you give me something? Can you do this for me? Take your time with me. But if you, instead of doing that, I read this article by Ryan Holiday that says how to get a mentor, and it showed me to do everything that's the opposite of that. And I was just like, oh, okay. So if I take this approach, maybe I can meet somebody who will teach me comics. And so I met Nick Patera at a comic convention in Pflugerville in Texas. And the thing is, like, the only way that I could meet other creators at that time was by going to conventions. And by going out of my way to go to that convention and meet him, became my first mentor. And we talked a little bit about him and the assignments he gave me last live stream. But doing that gave me what's the word? It helped build in me that muscle of talking to somebody else, going to a convention and showing my work and getting feedback. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to do that again, but with somebody who's a little bit closer to my demographic. So I specifically sought out Ngozi Ukazu because she was Nigerian like me, but also she made like a buttload of money off of her like Kickstarters. And I was just like, dang, there's got to be something that she's doing that I could do to make money like that. And with my school, like I went to the Kubert school, and my school was attending New York Comic Con, and she was also going to be there. And I'd never met her before. I'd seen her exploits online. I was just like, yo, okay, so this is my chance to meet her and see what I'm doing. So the thing is, when you go up to those people that are basically in a higher position, you want to have something that you're already doing, something that you're already making progress on, that you can show to them and show them like you're serious about making comics. And don't try to capitalize on that relationship right at that moment. Like, oh, here, can you give me this, or hey, can you give me this opportunity, or this or that. You just want to meet them and show that you're doing something. Get a business card, and if you get a business card, follow up, just show them your work. Say like, hey, I'm working on this and that, and don't ask for anything. Just tell them like, hey, this is what I'm working on. I'm doing this and that. And they'll be like, whoa, okay, this guy's showing some dedication. Like, even if you're not offering to help work with them or do stuff for free, which doesn't always work, by the way, you're just showing like, hey, I do stuff. I really do this stuff. Like, I really do comics, and I'm really serious about it. Here, take a look at my stuff and look at this and that. And if your stuff is good and they think like, whoa, this guy's actually producing stuff, then you'll get their attention and you'll grow like a relationship based off of that. But I got lucky specifically in this one specific way, in that she also lived in Texas, nearby, like where I could drive out to her and we could like have like coffee or whatever and just talk and discuss, and I could show her what I was working on. And so I was lucky in that specific way, to where we were able to build a working relationship over time, and where I would show her my stuff, she would show me what she was working on. She was working with like DC and graphic novel imprints, like First Second in America, like big stuff. And I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. Like learning about like what it takes and what she's doing and that kind of stuff. And over time, like I just kept showing that I was still dedicated. And by that 7-year mark, she was just like, it was probably like a flip or a switch that flipped in her mind. Like, oh, this guy's still around. Like he didn't just give up comics. He's still around after 7 years still trying to make it in. But the reason she specifically gave me that opportunity was because she also had an opportunity like that to, she was able to accept money to put all her time and focus into making her comic what it was. And she was just like, because somebody else gave me that opportunity, and that's how I got my comic off the ground, I'm going to give that opportunity to you so you can do the same thing. And you know, it would be like a return on investment type thing. It's not for free, but that's what made her compelled to believe that I could do something, because I'd shown that I'd already done it twice in the past by making and launching my own webcomic twice. Most people from my school haven't even done this once. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't even finished a comic to put out there. And it's not easy. And if you haven't done that over the 8 years since graduating from school or even starting school, then like, you're not that serious, or you're just letting other things in life block you too much from what you can do. So that's kind of how it all looked like, how that process went down. And basically, you just have to be hungry and also respectful. So don't ever disrespect or bite the hand that feeds you. You know what I mean? Black Swan says, what I meant was, do you think you would ever go back to a regular job? I could go back to a regular job tomorrow if I wanted. And it would actually be preferable to go back to a job, just because it's easier than the mental battle of doing comics all the time. But if I can swing it, if I can actually get to a point of solvency where I'm just doing the comic for money, even if it's just $20,000 per year, then I would never go back to a job. I would just be doing this all the time, because I actually enjoy this regardless of how much money I'm making. So as long as it gets to a point where I'm able to even make even a meager amount to survive off of, I would do comics over a job any day. Even though it's taking up all my time and I don't have, barely have time to sleep, but it's just the thing that gets me up in the morning to begin with. So there's no reason for me to stop anytime soon. And I'm just gonna keep going as fast as I possibly can to make this work. And trying to go even faster than I'm currently going. So with that said, I'm just gonna choose this layout and expand upon it. So we've seen enough of this cool stuff here, except I want to look at this one a little bit more. I found this on DeviantArt a long time ago. Yeah, that's some good stuff. It's got an orange and blue palette. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that, and we'll go with this. And I'm going to go ahead and copy paste that layout and expand it. And this is how the last one started. We take this layout and I'm going to modulate it a little bit to figure out what I really want to draw. And I'm going to open up Pinterest one more time, because I do have a different board for environments. I want to make this environment look pretty cool. You know what I mean? So let me, I like the clothes on this girl. Let me save that. It's not dirty. It's just a clothing reference. Let me put it in my board. Not color tutorials, damn it. It's going to go in clothing refs. And then I like this animal's face, so that's going to go in animals. And then this is interesting, so I'm going to put that in interesting. Anyway, so the other board is, I'll wait till it loads. But until then, let's see what y'all got here. Harley, when procrastination gets in the way, I highly recommend The War of Art by Steven Pressfield for any artist or creator. Oh yeah, that's a great book. I read that a long time ago, like years and years ago. It's a great like mindset type book. But these days I don't even have time to read mindset books, because it's like whenever I look at them, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm already doing that. Like, I'm already thinking in that way. All right, so I'm going to go to interesting places. Hit slide over. Let's see. John says you can draw the backpack and you can draw the backpack and you can dream and you can get the money. Possible is possible. What the? Scaby says thank you. John says so you have the stuff, do the stuff, and then whoops. Then you will get more stuff. Oh, yeah. Always be doing stuff. That's why I always say. Stephen Wing says every time I hear a breaking in story, the proof of consistency is more impressionable than good sequential art. Yeah, as long as you're consistently putting out stuff and improving, like you can be the worst artist in the world, but if there's something about your tenacity that gives an impression to people, like, whoa, this guy is not giving up. What the hell? He's still here, like he's still going. Scaby says thank you for sharing. It's just one of those subjects nobody really talks about. Yeah, man. Because it almost seems like not necessarily intuitive, but almost like a just something that goes on in the background that most people don't really talk about. Vince Forever. Hey, he says for real, mindset books are becoming less and less interesting the wiser we get. Yeah, that's literally how it goes. Like, I was actually trying to flip through a lot of comics yesterday to get inspiration for the next chapter of Saintly. But looking at them, I was just like, I don't need to collect as much visual information from these as I used to, because I'm doing something like similar, even though it might not be on as high a level, but it didn't feel as necessary to dig through all those books, and I felt like that was a sign of improvement. So yeah, it felt nice. So let me see, how do I want to do this? The last piece, it was tilted this way, and it was a long shot. If we have this thing chasing them, it would be something like this. Would Chelsea be out in front, or would they be directly together? Who knows? Epic Otaku Gamers as facts. All right, so it's coming around. What is that? I started at 8:30, so it's about to be 10:42, I think. So I'm still just on the layout stage, but that's totally fine. I think by next time I'll have more of a drawing ready. I do like what I have here. Let's see. I might hop off in about 5 to 10 minutes. I think I've one thing I do want to do when it comes to the launch time is to do like some type of 100-day challenge. Not 100-day, but 30-day challenge or so of just drawing illustrations, just drawing drawings, where I'm trying to see how much I can get done in a day's period and put that out there. Just put it out as is and not try to make it too precious or too good or whatever. Just make it as good as I can within 12 hours. So we're going to take all these, make it small. And we're just trying to figure out how to draw this. Scaby says, Bon voyage. Hey, I'll see ya. I'll see you later. Yeah, I'll be hopping off in a little bit. Let's see. The real self-help books are from classic literature. Yeah, stuff like the Bible, stuff like Dante's Inferno, or things that are based on universal principles, or things that are based on the old world, where they didn't have the technology we have today, and yet they still had problems. They were still facing problems that humanity still faces currently. Those are really helpful to learn from, because it's like Marcus Aurelius, those types of books, or the the works of Seneca. Like, those are based on timeless principles that even to this day people are still experiencing. So it never goes out of style, and you can always learn something from them. So that's what's the word? That's a good point. But yeah. Let's see. My name is Grog. What's up? I should consume more media to level up my composition. I got a couple shows in mind, like Cowboy Bebop. I should consume more media to level up my composition. I got a couple shows in mind, like Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a really good thing to study. Leveling up your composition is sort of like you can do really well by like studying stuff like Cowboy Bebop, because it just automatically has good composition, and anything that moves you is good. You know what I mean? Anything that moves you emotionally is a good study reference. So yeah, I would say absolutely study Cowboy Bebop for that. But yeah, Vince V says Jack Black in School of Rock. It says those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach become a football coach. That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, one of the things is like, hold on, I need to write this down for later. Yeah, one of the things like Ryan Otley, the artist of Invincible. I happen to have my volumes, just like my compendiums, just sitting here. The artist of Invincible, like he never really has like in-depth tutorials on how to draw like him. He's very gifted, but his art, he's so good at his art, it's like his art pays the bills, so he doesn't have to teach it. Like it's just self-evidently good on its own. Whereas I'm trying not to fall too much into the teaching zone of stuff, even though I make a lot of videos that talk about storytelling and whatnot, because I just don't know that much. Like a lot of what I know is really intuitive stuff that I've developed over years of thinking about drawing and writing and creating. So I don't even really know how I'm doing what I'm doing half the time. I just know that these are considerations that I think about all the time. And you can't really teach that to somebody who's not been thinking in that direction already. But yeah. Steven says therapy is my self-help book. That's good. That's good. Epic Otaku Gamer says, hello. The funniest thing is that a lot of self-help books heavily take a lot of content from Marcus Aurelius books. Yeah. Yep, that's true. Huncho Joshy, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out. He says, do you have an Instagram? Yep, I have an Instagram. It's at Comic-Ken. I'll just type it in the comments. And a lot of people reach out to me through there and just hit me up in the DMs. So yeah. Jom says Cowboy Bebop had a manga. Good reference into paneling. The official source material is probably just 3 volumes that I'm thinking about. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, that should be it for this stream. My family should come back at, I don't even know what time, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna head off, go eat, chill out, and get back to writing, because that's what I was doing before I started the stream. I was just writing so much of chapter 4, and it was just taking up all my mental energy. So I'm gonna get back to that and focus on maybe uploading a short or some type of video for tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I appreciate you guys coming out to the show and watching what I got. These are the layouts that I'm considering for the latest piece. I'm really liking this one. I'm really like particular towards that. Usually when I find one that I like, I'm like, can I do better? And I try to do better, and then I'm like, you know what, let's just go back to that one. But yeah, and that'll be it. I'll read the last comments and then sign off. Let's see. Stephen Wing says, I think so much of composition is that individual's taste and learning to portray your taste well. Yep, 100%. Bet, and I love the work, dude. I plan on buying some of your comics soon when I get my funds up. Want to support the hard work. Hey, appreciate it, man. Well, I appreciate y'all coming out, and I will see ya in the next one. Take care, man. Vince 4 says, thanks for sticking around, loving the progress on the Saintly verse. Saintly verse, I like that. It's coming along. All right, y'all. See ya in the next.